Hello, 50 people I forced to watch this on a weekly basis. The last time I cheers to Jesus, I almost got arrested.
Hey, bitches. Welcome to Paranormal Spirits.
Gotta get up, come on, get down with the sickness.
Bitch, you better back the fuck off. That is my man.
Lynn? Bitch, you put the nude on.
Hey, champ. Welcome to Paranormal Spirits, where we share a drink, tell you a spooky story, and then we rip it apart because booze always shows the truth. And as always, we're going to play Emily's drinking game.
Emily's drinking game.
Where every time we screw up a word or phrase, we take a drink. So grab yourself a drink, play along with that. With us.
Yes. So today I'm going to tell you a spooky story. I found the story about this guy named Bill. His name's Bill Vaile. He was a former NASA engineer. Bill was a very robotics engineer kind of guy. He and his wife split up, and when that happened, he decided to retire from working for NASA and move home closer to his brother in Arlington, Texas. So once Bill got to Arlington, he started working at the same water purification company that his brother worked at.
So he went from working for NASA to a water purification company.
Yes. So Bill starts working at this water purification company. So they get this last minute after hours call on a Saturday. So Bill decides to take it because he's a new guy, so he'll pick up the slack. The dispatcher tells him, this is really weird, but the customer asked for you to show up exactly at 5. So he shows up to the location. He sits outside in his van. I just f***ed up the word outside. He sits outside in his van and waits until exactly 5 o'clock, and he starts to walk up to the house, and he notices that the door is cracked a little, and he hears somebody screaming. So he walks up to the door. He's still very polite, and he knocks. No answer. And now he can clearly tell the screaming is coming from inside the house. The call is coming from inside the house. Being like a normal human, he decides he's going to go see what's going on and make sure that nobody's getting hurt. So he opens the door and he walks into the house and sees 3 men on their knees in a circle. And a woman is walking around them, screaming in what he describes as tongues. And every once in a while, she screams, "Get out, leave them, get out of them." And then she goes back to screaming in tongues. And after a couple of seconds of seeing this, Bill's in shock. He makes eye contact with the woman, where she proceeds to point directly at him and make this horrific eye contact, pretty much until he decides, I'm gonna get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, good call, Bill.
Bill leaves and he gets in his truck. He just kind of brushes it off as he just escaped weirdos. He tells them don't schedule anybody to go back there because obviously that person is a crazy. And he goes home and he lives alone and he sits down to eat dinner. And out of the corner of his eye, he sees something run across his dining room. And it looks like a little animal. And he's like, just had a stupid day at work and now I gotta go find this animal. And he's furious. He goes in the room, he starts looking around, can't find anything. He goes back to eating. He's like, I'll deal with it tomorrow. I'm tired. I had a long day. Goes to bed. Starts to fall asleep. He's sleeping. Now he feels it run across his feet. Ugh. And he wakes up like, this isn't my bed. Get out of here. Get out of here. We don't want you in here, little creature. So he gets up and he again turns all the lights on. He's looking all over the place, looking for this little thing. Can't find anything. Now he goes back to sleep and he is woken up by his bed violently shaking. He jumps out of bed. He thinks there's an earthquake. So He's running around. He's all discombobulated. And then he realizes that nothing has moved and nothing has fallen. And he vaguely remembers his bed thrashing around. He, being logical, sits down and says, he sits down at his computer. He figures if there was an earthquake, it would be on the news. He's like trying to figure it out, look it up on the internet, and all of a sudden his internet goes down. So he calls the internet company. And he's talking to the person on the phone. And all of a sudden, this crazy voice comes over the phone, speaking in this really dark, very like, voice. That's how scary it was. I'm on your phone line. Both Bill and the phone operator can hear it, but neither one of them can hear each other. And the guy's like, well, I don't know. Your internet's back, so like, whatever.
Like the demonic version of one of those old-timey phone operators.
Please. Satan has a long hole. What would the whole
Yeah,
music for hell be?
It would be like elevator jazz. Like Kenny G. Kenny G would be music for hell.
The word jazz makes me want to say jizz every time. So a few nights later, Bill again is sitting and he's eating and he looks up and a bottle is flying at his head. So he moves out of the way and this bottle smashes on the wall behind him. And then as he goes to look, all the lights go out. So he goes to the flashlight. No. Goes to the closet. He had a flashlight. And while he's in the closet, he said it sounded like something on the top shelf was picked up and slammed down. So he shits his pants and then comes back out and the lights go back on. That night, Bill is scared shitless. He's got all the lights on because who wouldn't have all the lights on? He has his head under the covers.
Can't get me if I'm under here.
Ain't no demons in here. So he looks down and he sees a hand coming up and reaching for his feet. And he tucks his feet up to his chest and the hand goes back and he looks everywhere and he's terrified, doesn't want to look under the bed because I don't want to look under my bed anyways because there's always a serial killer under there. So the next day, Bill's like, screw this, I'm calling my brother. And he tells his brother very little about what's happening, but he asks his brother to go check out the closet. And his brother goes in the closet and he says something hits him in the face and hits him in the leg. He decides, I'm not going to tell Bill what's happening. He's already clearly stressed enough and this is just whatever. So all he tells him is Bill needs to clean his closet.
Oh, nice. Thanks, bro.
What? Bill's desperate. So now he calls his friend who's a sound engineer and the voice happens again over the phone. They can't hear each other, but they both can hear it. And his sound engineer friend is recording the phone call. So he can see the audio waves of the random, crazy, scary voice. Hello, I'm trying to talk to you, Bear.
The lady from Monsters, Inc.
I'm watching. Always watching. So he can see the audio waves on the recording, and when he plays it back, all he can hear is Bill saying, don't listen to it, whatever it is, hang up the phone, it's not good for you to listen to. He couldn't hear Bill when the whole thing was going down. It's like the ultimate prank phone call. Is your refrigerator running? So now, a couple days go by, whatever. Bill invites his brother and sister-in-law over for dinner and movies. Bill's sitting in his favorite chair, and again, he sees something run by in that same room that he saw before. So he looks at his brother. He doesn't tell him what he saw, and he goes, do me a favor. Sit in this chair. So his brother sits in the chair, and wouldn't you know it, a few minutes later, his brother sees the same thing. And then they stick his sister-in-law in the chair too. And same thing, same situation. A few minutes later, she sees a little creature run across the room. They all do like a major game of hide and seek with this mofo. He decides, F this, I'm calling paranormal investigators. They come over and they decide to focus on his bedroom because that's where a lot of the activity was happening. So they set up all of these laser grids and cameras and stuff to video them, but the laser grids will show you if somebody or something moves in front of them. Nothing was really happening, so they decided to go into the room to try and stir things up because that's what paranormal investigators do. Poke the bear.
We got some great evidence. Thanks so much.
Have fun with your demon. We made him real mad. This guy goes into the room and he like flops on the bed and he's like, hey, I'm here. You want to see my ding-a-ling ding-dang-dong?
The hand reaches up under the...
Oh.
Actually, he was mad at the paranormal investigator, so he was like, oh.
So this mofo is laying in the bed, flooping around in a stranger's bed. And then all of a sudden, one of the laser grids falls. So it scares the crap out of this guy. So he jumps up and he grabs the camera and he leaves the room. And then when they're reviewing the footage, they can hear a voice in the background. And the voice says, put it back, he's coming. And then the laser grid falls off the ground. Yeah. So then obviously they leave. They tell Bill he should leave. And he says, I'm not leaving. He can't in his right mind leave and risk that somebody buys that house and has to move into a home that is experience all of these things.
That's like one ethical person.
It has been 17 years. Bill has had 2 exorcisms done on the house and it's still happening. And he can't figure it out.
Oh, this shit is like a true story?
This is real. Do you think he was crazy or do you think he was possessed?
I mean, after 18 years, you think there'd be a little more
I did think about how irritating it would be to be on the phone and trying to talk to somebody.
Like the Kool-Aid Man coming on every time you try to make a phone call.
Hey, Mom, how's it going? Ooh, it's me, Macho Man Randy Savage. I'm haunting your house, snapping to his Slim Jim. Ooh, yeah. That's Crappy Story of Bill Vaile and his demon. If you like what you heard, press all the buttons underneath this video that you're watching, because they will let you know when we post more things that you can watch that you will either like or dislike, but I don't care. Have a great day, night, morning. Get out while you can. There's a demon here.